Thank you for being here. Please do share this live stream webinar so we can reach more people. This is yet another value pack marketing webinar. If you're a marketing student, entrepreneur, beginner in marketing, or starting your own business, or a marketing professional that loves to learn the latest in marketing, or anyone who wants to learn about marketing, this webinar is for you. If you are new to the term SEO or search engine optimization, now we have the new terms AEO and GEO, or answer engine optimization, including generative engine optimization. You really need to stay and watch this webinar because we're going to talk about what changed in the search marketing and how are you going to adapt to these changing realities in 2026. I am Jeannie Sun, your webinar speaker. I host live marketing webinars here at Quiet Marketing every end of the month. And this is our third episode for 2026. Quiet marketing because it's the unconventional approach to marketing. Intentional, not rushed, not pushed, no hard selling. We only attract the right people in this space who resonates with what we do. And sometimes that's okay. As they say, be the 1% out of all the 99% doing the same thing. So that's basically what quiet marketing is all about. I'm a 14-year digital marketer. I've built brands for different e-commerce and tech projects. I've short-lived experience in HR operations where I focused on company policy formulation, manage internship onboarding processes, as well as workflows, supervised social media management and marketing interns. I conducted trainings and webinars for our team, and also I was invited as a resource speaker for different institutions as well as my alma mater. In 2025, I founded Quiet Marketing Philippines as well as Marketing Webinar Philippines Group. We now have over 2,500 members. As of the date, we now receive over 2,500 signups from various schools nationwide and conducted over 40 webinars since March of 2025. Welcome to this live webinar on the Modern Marketer's Guide to SEO, GEO and AEO. Please comment down below where you're tuning in, what school are you from, and what program are you taking up, or even company you are part of, if any. So tonight's topic is a perfect transition from our previous discussion on consumer behavior into the tactical how-to. So after knowing what consumers are up to, we've talked about the algorithmic convenience wherein customers want the easy route in their buying decisions, and the demand for human agency or involving customers or consumers in the buying process. And so knowing all of those things, what does it mean for us marketers? And so for our March topic, this is all about the Modern Marketer's Guide to SEO, GEO, and AEO. It's all about getting your brand found on search engine. Is where people are searching now, so you don't need to be intimidated by these terminologies kasi later on in your careers, you'll be exposed not just to the terms, but how to actually do it. And for those already familiar now with SEO, this is just an additional learning on where is SEO right now in 2026. So we have generative engine optimization and answer engine optimization. Let's also understand the nuances between the three. So it's not just SEO, but it's actually the fusion of the three in your marketing game in 2026. And before we define the terms, first as we begin to look at what's happening now on search marketing. Alright, so first as we begin to look at what's happening now on search marketing, the search behavior of people. Paano ba nag-search ngayon ang consumers? The search ecosystem has fractured. Now, we've all heard that SEO is dead. Is SEO or search engine optimization dead na nga ba? Of course, it's not. And let's look at this way, no? When we say fractured, think of this way. The internet used to be like a single highway leading straight to your storefront or your brand, okay? Now that highway has split into dozens of different paths. We've talked about last time about the marketing funnel is not linear anymore, okay? We have ChatGPT, we have Meta AI, voice search, and Google, even Gemini, and all of the social media platforms out there. Basically, they are all discovery channels. People aren't just searching anymore. They are discovering everywhere. That's why last January 31, we've talked about the biggest marketing shift. We talk about the spaghetti plate, that marketing funnel. It's messy, it's non-linear, and a study shows that 90% of businesses are worried. Okay? Business owners are worried because for 20 years, they've been doing the same thing, no? Playing the same game, which revolves around SEO or search engine optimization, which was that keywords are equals to clicks. This is especially true now for websites. But now with the boom of AI and LLMs or large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and all of the AI that evolved, no? LLMs, AI-powered search engines are gatekeeping the traffic. That's the reason why businesses notice a drop in website traffic. If you're a marketer, if you're a marketer who's handling websites, okay, you know that this is especially true. Now, if AI can answer a customer's question without them ever having to visit your website, businesses now fear that they will become invisible. They are worried that the search bar is becoming a black hole, okay? Or meaning it's a dead end for them. What happens is if people finds their answer on the search bar, that's it. For example, I search for a makeup brand on TikTok, no? I will rely heavily on what the search bar is providing, answers that AI is providing me on the search bar. That's it, no? The user gets the answer they need right on the AI search engines, and they stop right there. Yan yung nangyayari ngayon. They never cross the bridge to your business, okay? They never reach it. And the marketing term, actually, we call this the zero-click search. So it means that the user's journey ends at the search bar. That's what's happening right now. And now, if that's the case, if AI and LLMs are gatekeeping that traffic, then if you can't beat it, join it. So if we think about it in a funny way, no, magnanakaw nga ang mga AI and LLMs kasi trabaho ng SEO yun, pero sila ang may credit, sila yung nabibigyan ng credit. Kapag nag-search ka, for example, through ChatGPT, you have a list of resources in seconds, and that's actually the work of SEO. They're just scraping the information, they're crawling into these different sites in the internet. Kaya later on, we will talk about why SEO is still the king, it's not dead, and why it still is the foundation of search in 2026 marketing. Okay? But of course, kaya natin pinag-uusapan na rin ang pag-evolve ng generative engine optimization and answer engine optimization is we're not using SEO alone, okay? Kaya later on, we will talk about why SEO is not dead and why it still is the foundation of search, okay? But using it alone, you're becoming an invisible answer. Your data is solving the customer's problem, but because the AI is the one speaking, the customer doesn't even know it was your expertise that helped them. You did the work, but the AI took the credit, okay? So you cannot stop how search ecosystem has evolved, okay? Instead, you have to make sure that even if they don't click, your name is so tied to the answer that they remember you. So we move from I need to click to I need them to know I am the expert who provided the AI that answer. So if that is the state of a search ecosystem, then understanding that helps us transition to the 3 pillars of visibility, which is our topic, search engine optimization, generative engine optimization, and answer engine optimization. So, of course, we define the terms. Okay, so now that we know the search world is fractured, let's take a look at the 3 tools we use to somehow glue it back together, So as a modern marketer in 2026, you aren't just an SEO person, you are architecting brands visibility on the internet, okay? So SEO is a marketing role in the ecosystem of digital marketing. SEO is just one, okay? So here's what SEO looks like. So when we say search engine optimization, it's the foundation, but what actually it is, it's the process. It's simply the process of organizing your website so Google can index your pages and it shows them to people looking for deep information. So it's what shows up in Google searches, okay? How it works is that you use, as a marketer, you use a specific keywords, fast loading speeds, and high quality blogs, okay? What it looks like in the internet is that these are the list of blue links on the Google search page, okay? So new ones in 2026 is that SEO is like a digital library. It's where your long form authority lives, okay? If you don't have this, the other two pillars have nothing to lean on. That's why sinasabi natin kanina that SEO is not really dead. It's still the foundation. Since AI, gaya na napag-usapan natin in our past webinars, AI relies heavily on existing data. Okay, which brings us to answer engine optimization. Ano naman yung answer engine optimization? So, it's the instant solution, no? When you search on Google, okay? Yung second box, that is what we call AEO, okay? For example, you ask for what's the best cure for my toothache? So, lalabas na lahat ng mga answers doon. For SEO, also if you're looking for specific topics, Google search provides you with link. With AEO, it provides you with answers you need on the spot, answers you need real time. That box that you see on Google that provides you quick answers to your questions, that is what we call AEO, or answer engine optimization. So a lot of people think AEO is just for Alexa or for Siri. No, it's not. No, in 2026, TikTok is already an answer engine in itself. When a Gen Z wants to know, when a Gen Zer wants to know how to cook something, they don't go to Google, they go to TikTok or they go to YouTube. Okay, they want the answers in 10 seconds. What does this mean for you as a marketer? It means your social media content shouldn't just be pretty pictures. It needs to be searchable answers. If your TikTok captions doesn't have the exact phrase, SEO, the app won't find you. If your video doesn't give that direct answers to AEO, the user will swipe away. So the bottom line here for AEO is that social media platforms have become a quick response version of the internet. You aren't just posting, you are answering. That's why as brands, that's what you need to work on, no? Yung iba kasi nagja-jump na sila sa ads eh. When you're not heavy on this, no, yung mga basics natin like SEO, it's hard to jump into another strategy thinking that, oh, this ad will save this campaign, or this ad will save this product launch. So it doesn't work that way because people are discovering, people are searching, hindi na sila naniniwala sa brands taking the narrative, just like what we talk about, that authority is decentralized. You cannot dictate that your brand is trusted. You cannot dictate that your brand is the authority. Decentralized authority means that it's the narrative of the people. Again, for AEO, is a featured snippet box at the top of Google or Siri or Alexa speaking your answer out loud. So it's about zero-click winning, no? You win the customer's trust before they even click a link. So yun yung goal natin for AEO, immediate answers, okay? Instead of manually searching. Now, when it comes to GEO, or generative engine optimization, or what we call the AI influence, generative engine optimization, or ChatGPT, Gemini AI, and all of those LLMs. What it is that it's optimizing your brand to be the cited source, okay? Kasi nga, how it works, search works now on LLMs, no? Hindi na sila although, of course, nagkaroon na ng Gemini as an alternate to ChatGPT. But of course, a lot of people are now searching for these LLMs, okay? So that's your edge if you know SEO. Of course, that's where they scrape this AI. What it is that it optimizes your brand to be the cited source inside an AI's conversation. So what are you going to do as a marketer is that you provide your receipts, your statistics, your expert quotations, your unique data, and get mentioned on these third-party sites like, of course, we have Reddit now. A thread is really booming nowadays, no? A lot of conversations are happening not just on Reddit but on thread. A ChatGPT or Meta AI response that says, quiet marketing is the best place to learn marketing webinars. You can also do digital public relations for robots. You aren't just ranking, you are being recommended. So that's where your marketing strategy lies, no? How are you going to build public relations, not just to people, but now in today's AI driven world, we have robots, which are the AI, these large language models. Okay, so when you may ask, paano ba natin i-apply itong tatlo na to? No, you apply SEO for long-term trust. Okay, so this is where your blogs happen. This is where your authority lives. Okay, so you need to create as much as information, practical information, as well as receipts. Gaya ng sabi natin kanina, you need to show numbers. This is us. This is what we're all about. You don't just say, oh, we're the best social media platform. Be specific, provide the numbers. Okay, this is what AI wants. They want specific answers, they want data, they want information, not just fancy words, not just flowery words. Okay, provide the statistics, provide tangible results of what you do as a brand. So again, you apply SEO for long-term trust. Now when it's AEO, it's for quick hit traffic, voice search. Okay, for example, AEO is, for example, what's the weather today? You ask Alexa. So those are a form of AI or AEO, or answer engine optimization. Voice search, and then GEO, when you want to win the research phase for a customer's journey, you don't pick one, you layer them. So if you have how-to guides, these are for SEO. You pull out a 50-word summary for AEO, and then add original statistics for GEO. So that's basically how it works. It's easy. Actually, if you think about it, it's easy, no? It's just the terminologies are just intimidating. When put into practice, it's actually not that complicated. Okay? So is it applicable for all its industries? Yes, of course. Whether you're selling ramen, whether you have a coffee shop or local shop, or service as a software for business to business, or skincare when it comes to e-commerce, if your customer asks a question, compares products, or searches for a solution, these three applies. Okay, so why must marketers adapt? Okay, because the blue link is getting pushed down the page. Okay, if you only do traditional SEO, you're fighting for the bottom 30% of the screen. Okay, if you adapt to AEO and GEO, you own the top 70%, the AI overview and the snippet. Okay, so you're easily pulled out by these AI. Okay, so it's AI in the works nowadays. These are the best practices. We're learning the best practices here. So we're not saying that this is the only thing that matters, but this is basically the foundation, so you need to learn about this. Okay, so do we have analytics to prove that it's working? Yes, but the metrics have changed every now and then. Okay, for SEO, we still look for organic traffic. For AEO, we look at impressions and positions, 0 rankings. For GEO, we look at brand citations and share of model. Okay, meaning how often does ChatGPT mention you compared to your competitor? Or tools like Perplexity and Google Search Console, they are already showing us which AI responses are driving our traffic. So the bottom line here is that SEO gets you noticed, AEO gets you heard, and GEO gets you recommended. So in 2026, if you aren't doing all three, you're only telling a third of your story. So why not use all of these? No, all of the three. Okay, so now let's talk about how to build the foundation. So of course, we've already been talking about SEO. Let's talk about how to build that foundation. It's strong enough to support AI and voice search later, no? How it actually works is that this is actually the Google logic. So mas padaliin lang natin para mas lalo nating maintindihan. Let's turn this complex terminologies into understandable logic, no? So SEO, it works by providing to a search engine that you are the most relevant and authoritative answer for a specific person. For example, I'm looking for makeup brands, okay? Makeup brands for millennials, okay? Since I'm a millennial. Makeup brands for a millennial. If you're really so specific with your audience, for example, your makeup are not just for Gen Zs, it's also for millennials, you use those keywords, no? Apart from using keywords, Google is also looking for intent. It asks, does this website actually help the user, or it's just another fluff article? Okay, so this webinar is also an eye-opener for you kasi we are in this digital age, and marketing roles are not just about sales, not just about posting, not just about retail, not just about social media management. This webinar topic exposes you to real world scenario out there when you graduate. So these are most likely the marketing roles that you will encounter when you're on a job search. Okay, you will be handling not just social media platform, but of course websites, especially for corporate roles, no? And as early as now, as a student, you need to familiarize yourself with these terms, the technical side of marketing, because that's reality, and these webinars equip you with what you actually need to know today as a modern marketer. So this is digital marketing, so don't be afraid of the jargons. You're about to enter the workforce soon, so you need to know that a website, it's not just a promotional platform, okay, or just a pretty flyer. It's a piece of software that needs to work perfectly for the robot, for the AIs, for LLMs to recommend your brand. Okay, so this is what SEO looks like in action. So we have number one, depth over breadth. Okay, kung halimbawa ang website brand nyo talks about beauty and aesthetics, your website should contain a topic so extensively you become an authority about that specific topic. Okay, so you stop writing 300-word update posts. Those don't work anymore. What works today is that for you to rank today, you need to have deep content, no? We're talking about 1,500 to 3,000 words that cover a topic from every angle. So, dito rin papasok yung mga roles natin when it comes to copywriting. Okay? So, as an SEO, you're also a copywriter. If you're writing about SMM, don't just give surface level tips you can found anywhere, okay? Or yung mga madalas na common mistakes, ito yung mga common mistakes ng mga brands or mga creators today, yung mga tinatawag natin na recycled content. Nakita nila yung information or nakita nila yung carousel, gagayahin din nila. These are one of the common mistakes that you can do as a marketer, no? Para kang hindi ka nag-e-effort as a marketer. Ang isang skills that you need to have is creativity. Okay, when we say creativity, you don't just copy. Okay, if it's working for other brands, what you can do as a marketer is to analyze, okay, observe kung ano ba yung naging strategy niya, kung bakit nag-work ang isang content. Okay, instead of recycling it, you study what makes that post or that content work. Okay, so there is no way AI and LLMs can reference you if you're doing this. If that is your content strategy, yung nangongopya. Okay, I'm not saying that copying is bad, but of course, as marketers, mayroon naman tayong tinatawag na ethical marketing, diba? Of course, and of course, you want to be the authority. Ito yung ang goal natin. We want to become the authority. Kasi if we all sound the same, how can AI reference you and cite you as the brand authority if you're doing that? Okay, so that is your content strategy. You need to be the expert. Okay, remember that AI and LLMs rewards authenticity. So, yan yung lagi nating tatandaan. AI and LLMs reward authenticity. That's why we need to be, as much as possible, we need to be authentic with our, not just with our voice, brand voice, but also with our content. Okay? Google rewards the expert, not just the generalist. Okay? Generalist, sabi natin, yung mga pare-pareho na. Okay, you are called a generalist if you're doing the same thing what everybody else is doing. When it comes to site architecture, websites have different pages for services. For example, you can create a content hub. If you sell skincare, you should have one master page about skincare routines that links out to smaller specific pages like skincare for dry skin, skincare for sun damage, or this tells the engine that this site knows everything about this topic. Okay? Now, before you start writing your content, your website has to pass two tests. Okay? The first thing is the health test. Okay? And the second thing is the reputation test. So, in the industry, we call this the technical SEO and the authority signals. What we actually mean in the real world is that when it comes to technical health of your brand or your website, imagine if you go to a restaurant, the menu looks great, but the front door is locked or the lights are flickering, and it takes about 20 minutes for a waiter to say hello. Okay, ang tendency, you're going to leave, right? Google feels the same way about your website, okay? If your site takes more than 3 seconds to load, ang bagal-bagal mag-load, okay? Google punishes you. Why? Because users hate waiting. Okay, it happens not just on real world scenarios, it happens on the internet. Okay, because people have short attention span. Napaka mainipin ng mga tao because of technology nowadays. It's so fast paced. Yan ang naging effect sa atin. Another thing is mobile friendliness. Are your website or your brands are mobile friendly? If your site doesn't look perfect on a phone, it basically doesn't exist. Actually, ang dami ko nakikita din na ganito. Their website are not working. It has a lot of dead links, error pages. If a user clicks a button and gets an 404 error, page not found, that signals to Google that your house or your website or your website, basically, it's falling apart. As a marketer, is that you don't need to be a coder, but you do need to make sure that the door is open and the lights are on for your customers. Okay, so apart from what I was discussing, if you've been in our previous webinar, your role as a marketer is to really collaborate with your team, especially if you're working for developers who builds this website. As a marketer, your job isn't just to post content. Your job is to be the source. If you create a unique study, great infographic, or really helpful guide, other people will cite you. Every time people are vouching for your brand or they give credit to your link, they are telling the search engine that this is a trusted brand. Okay, this is a trusted person if you're a personal brand. Okay, when you start your job later on, or if you're in the workplace right now, don't just ask people to share your post. Ask them to link to the source on your website. That link is the currency of the internet. A lot of people think SEO is a technical job for IT, but it's actually not. SEO is a marketing job, and your role is to make sure that your brand looks like the smartest, the most reliable brand. Okay, we do this through two main tasks. Okay, building your reputation, which we're going to talk about later on, the EEAT framework. Okay, now let's talk about the second pillar, which is the answer engine optimization. If SEO was about building a deep library, AEO is about being the quick answer, gaya ng mga nabanggit natin kanina, on the other end of someone's phone or the consumer's phone. In 2026, we don't just search by typing anymore. We ask, and as marketers, if we aren't providing the answer, our competitors will. Okay, so why does AEO matters? Okay, if you look at these numbers, they tell the whole story of how people behave today. Okay, 40% of adults use voice search daily. Okay, think about it when you're driving or cooking. You don't type, but you say, "Hey Siri" or "Hey Alexa, what are the ingredients for cooking lasagna?" For example, you aren't looking for a list of websites. You want the exact correct answer spoken back to you in real time. Now, featured snippet appear in 25% of searches. What does this mean? Okay, every time you see the answer box at the top of Google, that's AEO. So 1 out of every 4 searches is now being answered instantly without the user ever having to scroll down. Okay, di ba? Nangyayari na ito ngayon. Dati, bibigyan kami ng maraming links eh. Ngayon, direct answers, instant answers. Okay? So, the core concept of this is the end of the click ring. Sabi natin kanina na dead end na. Okay? The most important thing for you to understand that the goal is no longer about the click. Okay? The blue links. The goal is for extraction. In the old days, we wanted people to click our link and stay on our site. But today, we want the search engines to extract or steal our answers and show it to the user immediately. Bakit? Because even if they don't click, they saw your brand's answer. You just won the expert spot in their brain. Okay? If you make their life convenient. Babalik tayo sa pinag-usapan natin last time about algorithmic convenience. They want the easy. Consumers or people now want the easy route. Okay? They will trust you when they're finally ready to buy. Okay? So, AEO is best for busy consumers. It's best for people who want answers in 5 seconds or less. Don't worry too much if you don't get the click. Be happy that you were the chosen answer. Okay? Voice is king. Sabi nila, your content needs to sound natural, like a person answering a friend. Okay? So, SEO is about building the library. AEO is writing the cheat sheet. Okay? So, in 2026, you don't want a robot to read your whole website. You want it to grab one specific sentence and say it out loud. What does it mean for you now, knowing about AEO? First is that you structure data. Structured data is just putting a digital label on your content so that Google knows exactly what it's looking at. Okay? In simple terms, it's a bit of robot language. We call that the schema that tells Google, hey, this specific text is a frequently asked question. So if you have a website, have this pages, no FAQ pages. Your role as a marketer is that you don't need to know about codes. You just need to ensure that your website tools are labeling your FAQs so Google can find them instantly. So you need to work on having an FAQ page for your website if this is the case for answer engine optimization. Now, right for extraction, the answer block strategy. Search engines are parang tao din. They're lazy. They want to find an answer. They want to just grab it and go. Okay? We help them by writing 30 to 50 word blocks. If a robot can't read your answers in 5 seconds, it won't pick you and crawl into another website. Okay? When it comes to target conversational intent, you must write your content exactly how people speak. Use words like how to, best way to, what is, or top 5, top 10. Okay? Stop trying to sound like a corporate brochure. So, ito yung common mistakes. Another common mistakes for copywriting for marketers. No, they're using corporate jargons, ChatGPT language. Be the human. Sound like a human and be less AI. Okay, sound less AI. Let's take for example Sunny Space, a local makeup brand here in the Philippines. How does Sunny Space win at AEO? Okay, so they label their website and it tells Google exactly which text is a price and which is a review. Okay, that's called structuring your data. Okay, if you ask Alexa about their shades, their website has a tiny 40-word block that says the best shade for warm skin is nudist because of its speech undertones. So that's for extraction. They speak human. Okay, they optimize for questions like how to get a blurry lip look instead of just lipstick application. So it's the conversational intent. Okay, so AEO isn't just a technical magic. It's just labeling facts and writing short, clear, concise answers so that voice assistant and AI can easily provide those answers to people who are searching and give you the credit as a brand. And then, of course, which brings us to generative engine optimization. In 2026, people don't just search for links. They ask ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude AI for recommendations. GEO is how you make sure that the AI picks your brand. Okay? Now, how do we actually do that? So, as we enter the most advanced stage, which is the GEO, you need to know that AI isn't just a robot reading your site. Okay, it's a synthesizer. It reads the whole internet. It reads recommendation. It thinks about it and gives a human-like recommendation. It even crawls into the conversation, Reddit conversation, Threads conversation, and all of the social media platform, TikTok. GEO is the art of making sure that the AI trusts you enough to put your name in that answer. Okay, in that answer engine. Okay, what is GEO really? So the shift here is that we're moving from keywords to hindi na lang SEO. It's not just about keywords. It's about citations. Okay? Success in GEO isn't about being number one or being in top of the list. It's about being the source that the AI uses to build its response. Why does it matter? Now, you may ask, why does it matter? Why are we changing our strategy? Because the numbers don't lie. Imagine, 80% of users now rely on AI summaries for their searches. 60% of searches are now zero-click, meaning it's a dead end. When they find the answers in AEO, they stop right there, and there's no chance that they'll be able to head over to your site. This means that users get the recommendation from the AI and go straight to the store or app. They never visit your site. Okay? AI doesn't just read websites anymore. It checks if other people agree with you. And this is where third party mention comes in. No? If other people agree with you, it looks at Reddit, it looks at YouTube comments, it looks at news articles if you're the trusted brand for your industry. Okay? You don't need branded mentions everywhere, even if there's no link. No, if people are on Reddit and are already talking about you, praising your product, your brand, the AI learns that, this is the expert on this specific product. When it comes to citations, statistics and citation, AI models love data. They are more likely to quote you if you provide a specific number, unique statistics. Okay, instead of saying our lipstick lasts long, say 9 out of 10 users reported 12-hour wear in our 2026 humidity test. So the AI will grab that specific stat to prove its answer. Okay, so since we're talking about Sunny's face already, no, how does it win the heart of LLMs? Okay, because so many people talk about Fluffmate. If you're familiar with Sunny's face Fluffmate, no, on Reddit, the AI sees a consensus, okay, that they are the top Filipino brand, okay. Their website explains exactly why their shades work for Asian skin tones, using specific color theory. The AI cites this as evidence when a user asks for a recommendation. Okay, so this is a perfect example of citations, okay, when it comes to generative engine optimization using ChatGPT or Gemini for a Filipino brand for makeups. Okay, so GEO isn't about tricking or hacking the algorithm. It's about building such a strong reputation across the whole internet that the AI has no choice but to recommend you as the expert. So what's your role as a marketer in applying GEO in terms of search engines? Okay, AI models are smart researchers. Okay, they don't just guess, they look for proof across the whole internet. Your job is to leave a trail of evidence so that the AI finds you and trusts you. So 4 ways to do that is to secure third-party mentions. Okay, AI trusts what others say about you more than what you say about yourself. Okay, we're talking about the centralized authority. So they're scraping on conversations, articles, brand mentions. Okay, imagine if you want to be known as a best designer, you can say it on your website, but the AI won't care. But if a famous tech blogger or a news site mentions your name or your brand, the AI thinks, okay, this person or this brand is a real deal. And as a marketer, you use public relation to get your brand quoted on other websites. The more people vouch for you, the more AI recommends you. Citation-friendly content. Okay, AI loves numbers, as mentioned, original data, clear facts. Okay, AI doesn't like vague sentences. It looks for citations, specific pieces of information it can use as evidence to provide as answers. Okay, so instead of saying our lipstick is popular, say our survey showed that 92% of users found this lipstick lasted for 12 hours. So the AI will grab it, that 92% statistics, and give you credit as the source. Okay, be explicit on page. Okay, AI models are literal. Don't be clever or poetic. Be direct. Okay? So, put your main claims and answers directly in the big headings in the first sentence. Tell the AI exactly who you are and what you do so it doesn't have to guess. Okay? Guide the AI. Now, make your website so easy for an AI bot to read. Some websites are messy and hard for robots to crawl. So we use simple text files like LLMs.txt to give the AI a map for our most important data. How does it look like? No, it could be your FAQs, gaya na nabanggit natin. Have a dedicated page for FAQs where the AI can easily scroll, or the AI can easily scroll at. Okay, ensure that your website is so organized and uses clean text, keeping your room or your website so good. Okay, so good that the AI can find exactly what you're looking for without digging through a messy content on your website. Okay, so how does Sunny's face look like in action for GEO is that it serves for third party. No, they get featured in Vogue and Allure. No, the AI sees that and they vouch for you. Okay. Citation, no, they list exact ingredients and skin tone matches. The AI has facts about it, no, to quote it and give the exact answers when consumers or people are searching for that specific answer. For their website, they have fast and clean, making it easy for ChatGPT, Gemini AI, and all of those LLMs to read their product list. You may ask why marketers need to know about GEO is that because AI models like Gemini or ChatGPT, they use high-ranking SEO sites as their training data. If you don't rank in traditional SEO, the AI will never read you. Okay, which is why SEO is still the foundation, which means AI will never recommend you in GEO and AEO. That's why you really need to be good at doing your SEO right. SEO is how you get into the AI's brain. Okay, so is it applicable for all? Absolutely. If you're a local cleaning service, for example, SEO makes sure you show up on the map. If you're a global software company, SEO makes sure that you show up in the search phrase. It is the entry fee for being a business on the internet. So do we have analytics? Yes, we look at the organic traffic and average time on page. If people stay on your page for 4 minutes, Google sees that as a quality signal and pushes you higher. If they leave in 10 seconds and then you drop. So those are all crawlable on the internet. So they know these information. You cannot gatekeep this. Okay. So again, to wrap it up, SEO or search engine optimization is for keyword optimization. SEO is for making sure that you use the exact words your customer is typing into their phone so that the internet knows you are the right person to talk to. The goal is that you appear first, if not at least on top of what the AI pulls out on search engines. So imagine if your customer is searching for a solution, you appear right in front of them. Okay, SEO ensures that when they look for a website, your shows up. Now, AEO or answer engine optimization, easy answer retrieval. Okay, AEO ensures that when they ask a quick question, your answer is read out loud. Now, when it comes to GEO, it just makes sure that your brand and your content are trusted by LLMs or large language models like ChatGPT and Gemini AI. It ensures that when they ask for an AI for a recommendation, the AI says, you should check on this brand. Okay? So the ultimate goal is that you want to be everywhere the customer is looking for, whether they are typing, they are talking, or they are chatting. You want to be the first name that pops up. So we aren't just ranking anymore, we are dominating the conversation. Alright, so we talk a lot of technical terms today. Redirects, schema, AA crawlers, and citations, but I'm going to tell you a framework that works for every single algorithm, whether it's Google, it's TikTok, or it's ChatGPT. It's called EEAT. Okay, what is EEAT? It's the trust test. Okay, EEAT isn't a technical trick, it's a quality standard. It stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Okay, when you say experience, have you actually used the product? Okay, so you show, you don't just tell. Okay, expertise, do you know your stuff? So provide deep, helpful details all over your channels. Okay, authoritativeness, ask yourself, do other people look to you for answers? So your goal is to get cited by others. Okay, of course, trustworthiness, are you the honest and safe, which translates to reviews and clear contact information. Okay, so In the past, SEO was different from social media and social media was different from AI, but in 2026, they are all hunting for the same thing, which is the human expertise. Google wants to show the most trustworthy link, TikTok wants to show the most authentic experience, and AI wants to quote the most authoritative expert. So if you build a brand that people trust, the AI will naturally find you. You don't have to chase the algorithm if you're the person the algorithm is looking for. I guess the takeaway would be that as a student, most especially since most of our attendees are students, when you start your marketing career, people will tell you to find a shortcut or to hack the system. Don't do it. Shortcuts get penalized. Instead, you focus on being a genuine brand, publish original insights like what we talk about. AI rewards authenticity. Gather real reviews from customers and prove that you are an expert. That is the only way to make sure that people can find you today, tomorrow, and from 10 years from now. So you don't need to be a coder to win at SEO. You just need to be a great marketer who builds a brand people can actually trust. At the end of the day, search bar might be changing, but human need for trust never does. So be the expert and you'll never be invisible in people's search engines. Yes, that wraps up our webinar on the Modern Marketer's Guide to SEO, AEO, and GEO. We're opening the floor for your questions, so please do type it in the comment box. Okay, we'll wait for your questions. And while waiting for your questions, let me acknowledge our attendees from Mapua University. We also have from University of Santo Tomas, University of Perpetual Health System Laguna, Ateneo de Davao University. I hope you're all here. National University Lipa campus. Also have De La Salle St. Benilde and University of Caloocan City, and of course, our loyal marketers from Rizal Technological University. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this live webinar. So I hope that you learned a lot, okay, from this webinar. And of course, we also have attendees from Upwork and other marketing professionals from different private companies. Okay. And yes. May mga katanungan ba kayo? Huwag kayong mahiya, guys. Let me see. Yes. Hi, Missy. Thank you so much for your question. Okay, let me show your question. If using your local language, will it make any difference in SEO, AEO, and GEO? Well, basically, Misty, when it comes to using your local language, for example, you're in the Philippines and you're gonna use our language which is Filipino. Of course, the first thing that you need to ask yourself is who is your audience. Okay, so is it the local community or is it international? So that's the first thing that you need to ask. Okay, and of course, we have the four structure that we've mentioned for using SEO. Number one, we have the site structure. Um, you need to have long form content, okay, and then basically also adding brand depth or authority. Okay, so you do that by using long form content. Be the expert, as mentioned a while back. Okay, for AEO, we use the 50 to 40 to, I mean 30 to 50 word blocks. Okay, easy answers that AI can easily scrape and crawl at. Okay, when it comes to GEO, as mentioned, um, we've all mentioned all the things that you can learn, even the framework. Okay, the EEAT framework. Be the expert. Okay, have the experience. Okay, the authority, and of course trustworthiness. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Listy. And thank you so much for um asking that. Okay, now let's answer a question from Shaira. Okay, as an intern who always used SEO in social media, what is the best way to organize and have a functional SEO? I guess we've also mentioned that in I guess I answered that already. It's basically just the same though. Yung EEAT framework natin. Always remember the EEAT framework. That's basically the hack that you're going to apply in all of your SEO strategies. Okay, so I hope that you review on that, go back on that. How are you going to apply all of those in your marketing strategies, knowing all of those things? No, later on, gonna share you also the slides, so you can review it, and you can always rewatch the replay of this webinar. It's available up until um, April 28th. So our live webinar expires for 1 month, so you can always watch this. All right, I hope that answers your question, Shire. Thank you so much for your question. And then we have another one. Which kind of language will AI value more? All right. We have a question from Miguel Goles. Which kind of language will AI value more when it comes to providing answers or solutions to customers? Understandable but basic language, or complex but technical? Okay, so if you've been in our previous webinar, which is understanding consumer behavior, I guess we need to go back again to that for us to be able to understand yung transition natin from SEO, AEO to GEO. Kasi with that webinar, we talk about the algorithmic convenience. Again, I've talked about this kanina din, that consumers want the easy route. Okay? So, don't be complex. Kaya nagsabi ko kanina, don't use flowery words, okay, in your content, because that's what the AI scrapes, diba? Yun ang kinocrawl at nila, yung mga information na yan. So, what I was saying is that we go back to the algorithmic convenience, which means that people want the easy route. Okay, ayaw na nila ng paligoy-ligoy. So as much as possible with your content, even not just on websites, but even on social media and all of the channels that you have, be straightforward, be specific, don't use flowery words. Avoid all of the jargons, because people are so done with corporate jargons and all of those, ay mga masyadong, yun yung, di ba, yung kadalasan ginagamit ng mga marketers. Akala nila mauutupan nila ang consumers ngayon using long flowery words, but it's not the case anymore. So babalik tayo dun sa algorithmic convenience. Okay, so that's what AI wants: easy answers, straightforward and concise answers. Okay, kasi gaya ng sabi ko kanina, tamad na din ng mga AI, no? They want easy answers to provide to people because of algorithmic convenience. Okay, so I hope, Miguel, that answers my question. That answers your questions. Okay, so there. And do we have more questions? Mukhang wala na yata. I hope naintindihan natin, and I hope that na-get niyo yung point natin. Yeah. Okay. So, I guess if we don't have any more questions, maybe you can share your aha moments or your key takeaways kung may natutunan nga ba tayo dito sa ating SEO. Kasi gaya ng sabi ko kanina, SEO, AEO, GEO, these are not technical terms. These are the terms that you really need to know as a marketer right now. These webinars actually are equipping you with knowledge that you need to learn when you enter the workforce later on. Okay, so there. All right, I guess that will be the last question for our webinar today. Thank you so much, guys, for participating, for your comments, for your questions and your inputs. I would also like to remind you, yung mga registrants natin, to please enter the Gmeet link provided in your email. Okay, kindly enter now and kindly wait for me in a minute. And of course, don't forget to check our upcoming webinars lined up for April. We also have webinar for May, and our registration form is pinned in the comments. So I hope that you do check on that. And if you missed this webinar, you always have the replay access still available until the end of the month. You can always rewatch it. And if you need certificates, please do register using our form below. And of course, I'm receiving late registrations for this webinar. So kindly await email confirmation after this. Alright, so once again, thank you so much for joining me tonight for our March 28th live webinar on the Modern Marketer's Guide to SEO, GEO, and AEO. This has been Jean Nixon saying adios. Appreciate you all and have a great night. Bye, everyone.